we biologically are not built to be with one partner. Let's go back to ancient time again. Marriages did not exist then. This is a societal construct. It is not a part of animal kingdom.
If I go to the history, in our temples, they had the descriptions of Kama Sutra. And then suddenly there is a gap. What happened?
Society happened. And yes, lack of sex education is majority of the times cause of all these issues. The case was about a couple who was struggling to conceive. They had gone to various fertility centers, various doctors. When he intervened, something clicked to my sir, and then he was like, let me just ask the details. Karte kaise ho? How do you do sex? So when he was describing the details, he was inserting it in the navel.
Meet Aashita Khanna, a new age sex therapist reshaping how India understands intimacy, desire, and consent. An RCI licensed psychologist, she founded Kama Health India to break generations of silence around pleasure and emotional connection.
The orgasm gap is huge, whereas if the male is orgasming 80-90% of the time, females are only orgasming just 30% of the time. That is when people start looking for sex outwards because it's a bodily need. So it's all connected.
Joel and Twinkle, they have a podcast together where they are talking about this concept of cheating. What do you consider as cheating? India is still considered to be the hub where people visit porn sites more than any other sites.
So India is the third largest porn consuming country in the world. There are issues of the female health, which is vaginismus, which is called painful sex.
What kind of sexual issues do people deal with? And that we might not be even aware of. This is what it's called so and so. So if you can just help us understand this.
Okay.
So that I can educate myself at least, yeah.
Okay. So there are a few terms you might have heard, which are related to men's sexual health, premature ejaculation or early ejaculation, wherein ejaculation happens early than they desire. Then there is erectile dysfunction that can have organic causes, that means medical causes, but mostly erectile issues before a certain age have psychological causes. Then there are issues of the female health, which is vaginismus, which is called painful sex. I want to talk more about it, so give me space in the future.
Absolutely.
Because I'll talk in detail about vaginismus because this is something females are struggling with without even knowing that this is something treatable. Then there are issues called desire discrepancy, wherein one partner will have a higher desire for sex and the other have very low desire or maybe comparatively low desire, and that just ruins the satisfaction overall. How they see their life together, that becomes a main issue in their relationship. So it's called desire discrepancy. Suppose one partner desires sex 4 times a week and the other partner desires once in 15 days, 20 days. Like, this is still workable, but there is a higher gap also. So the higher the discrepancy, higher the issues. Sometimes it happens after a child, sometimes it happens in long-term relationships, in long distance, like after a long distance. So this is a very common issue because of which couples start to part away, first emotionally, then physically, or vice versa. So these are some issues that I deal with in therapy.
Yeah. At one point in time, this subject was not taught or was not even spoken about.
Yes.
What do you think? Is it the case of lack of sex education in our education system? Or because if I go to the history, in our temples, they had the descriptions of Kama Sutra, right? And then suddenly there is a gap. What happened?
Society happened. So yes, you are absolutely right, because our ancient history is something which is very sex positive. And somehow something happened, society happened, and then everything became haywire. And yes, lack of sex education is majority of the times cause of all these issues. Had there been adequate sex education, we would not have had these issues or need of so many sex therapists, sexologists. Only where medical interventions are required and higher chronic issues, our need would have been there. But it is all because of lack of sex education. And by sex education, I mean a basic education which should have started from class 1 onwards. Now people might say first standard is
Isn't
too
that too
early.
early?
But sex education is not only about sex. It's also about teaching about body positivity, teaching about self-esteem, as simple as hearing a yes and no. So if I give you an example what I mean, um, if we say, okay, today I'm not in a mood to have sex, people take it like my partner would take it in a defensive way, in an attacking way, that maybe I am wrong. Um, there have been so many, specifically women, who just have to say yes because they are afraid to say no to sex that they don't want, and they keep on being in a relationship and they kind of keep on doing the kind of sex they don't want, which in the end drift them apart. Then they don't do sex. The relationship becomes a sexless relationship. So, and rapes happen because of the ego issue, because they cannot hear a no. So the basic education of, accepting a yes and no without hurting anyone's ego should start from the class one onwards.
And I also believe that one's connection with self determines the way you're going to show up for the other person.
Yes.
And when I'm talking about your own connection with yourself, it has to do with your connection with your own body.
Yes.
And I'm not surprised that you're saying that unless this is introduced in the education system as early as when the child is in first standard, she or he may not be able to understand the signals that body gives.
Yes.
And unless I'm aware of my somatic signals, it's going to hinder, it's going to impede my connection with my own self and with the other person.
Yes.
But as an individual, Aashita, when did you realize early on that this subject is extremely important and somebody, किसी ना किसी को इसको charge लेना पड़ेगा, and if not you, who else?
This happened in my bachelor's while I had a paper called Sexual Disorders. By that time, it was just a paper for me. I was not thinking of going into sexual health because psychology में एक subject होता है sexual disorders, and I was just hearing and listening to my mentor, the teacher who was teaching that subject, and he was talking about a case. And I'll just briefly describe that case. The case was about a couple who was struggling to conceive. They had gone to various fertility centers, various doctors. So he described the case into a 2-3 years of journey where he used to travel to cities to see various doctors, Ayurveda and all of that, whatnot.
Yeah.
And somehow he landed up in a psychologist's room. Because no one comes to a psychologist for these issues. Somehow someone just sent them to my mentor.
Yeah.
When he intervened, and assessment session, history session, one session happened, second session happened, and something clicked to my sir, and then he was like, let me just ask the details. Karte kaise ho? How do you do sex? So when he was describing the details, he was inserting it in the navel. The mere lack of sex education in India. So it was a huge struggle, and they were coming from a family where having a son or a child, an offspring was very important. So they were so much pressurized. They were also willing to, have different means to have a baby, maybe have a second marriage.
Yeah.
So it was that extent. And this somewhere stayed with me. So I have a memory of a starfish or jellyfish, what do you call it?
Yeah.
But I remember some cases that means this left an impact on me.
What kind of a technique do you follow that allows them to get comfortable?
So initially, when the world was not out there on social media, when this podcast did not exist, the approach was rapport formation, helping them be comfortable in the new environment. We just don't jump into talking about sexual issues, talking about them, who they are, age and demographic details, giving them time. If they are still, in a hesitated space, then I tell them that I have seen cases like such, a little bit of self-discovery, what I do, who I am.
Can you take us through one of those cases?
Yes. So this is something of extreme. Like, I don't get these kind of cases because people know what I do, and when they are paying me to, get treated. So this is about an audio session. It was not even chargeable. So I usually take, because I'm an individual practitioner right now, I take a 5 minutes, 10 minutes discovery call to understand their needs, if I will be a good fit for them, or they will be a good fit for me. So on that call, that client was an Indian living in the US, and I had noticed that client had filled a lot of intake forms with me but never taken the next step. So once he was live on the chat and he was telling me about his just filling the form and when the time is available, but I could see with the pattern of chatting that he is the hesitant client. I made a call, and then the client was so hesitant with the call. I could see that he is, his breathing has changed and he's running to maybe a space that is away from people and maybe a safe space, but safer, like he was running. Like I told him, I'll call back you in 5 minutes, take your time, be in a safe space, and then we can connect. Then I called again and we connected. He was not able to describe his issues. He was, breathing heavily. He told me something briefly that I have issues. He could not even use the word. So I had to give him some terms. Acha, this is what happening to you? Acha, not this. This is happening to you? I called, like we had a 20 minutes call on a 3-day, on 3 different days. So this was not a paid session for me, but I was so touched that this person is struggling so much with this issue. He was married. Then he must be having so much difficulty in his married life. Then he's not able to define me about his performance anxiety. If a person is naturally anxious, that is like in all the situations, 100% he'll have anxiety during performing sexually. If anxiety exists in his general life, sexual performance will be impacted, because that is how he will be anxious in his sexual life also, like mind and body are connected. So I told him that we'll first work with anxiety, not with the sexual health, because we cannot just work with sexual health. Anxiety in terms, I'm a clinical psychologist also, so I see from a holistic approach that it's not that we'll jump into sexual health. That client still did not take up the next steps. He paid for the session. We had one consultation. 10 minutes into the consultation, he was so anxious that he was just like gone.
Yeah.
And I gave him an option of an audio session. We were having an audio session. He was still not comfortable in that. And then he, I think, recently approached me again for a next session after a 3 months gap. Probably I'll have a second session with him. Let's see.
India is still considered to be the hub where people visit porn sites more than any other sites.
Yes.
How does that impact the intimacy that one builds with their partner?
Oh my God. So India is the 3rd largest porn consuming country in the world. Now, how it impacts sexual life, intimacy life? A lot. So what happens is, first, we don't have sexual health education. I don't consider porn as something which is wrong, but because there is no sexual education, that makes porn wrong, because people don't know that to watch it from an entertainment purpose only. They take it as a guide for their sexual health, sexual education, which is wrong. Now, if someone is consuming porn, what happens is it, triggers their dopamine, the pleasure receptors in the brain. The neurotransmitters are, activated. And it's a natural cycle. When they're watching, they get aroused. They also masturbate in the process. Now, this creates a cycle of wanting more. The biological side of our body wants it more. So they end up watching porn and masturbating in a loop. Sometimes it also takes them towards addiction. Even on addiction, sometimes people just think what is happening in porn is real. That's real life. But that is not real life. That's real life. Everything is a story. There is cameras, there is makeup. The body parts are cosmetically, redesigned. The world is growing. So everything is enlarged, and, people are selected. The models are selected based on how they look. When you're watching a porn, it's front angle, back angle, sound effects, audio effects. There is stories, different stories. So all of this is very stimulating. So mind is, activated very early. Now, in real life, sex is slow. You have to do all the mehnat to build that up, to build the arousal up. It will not happen how it happens in porn. So now there's a mismatch in how they've seen what happens there and what happens in real life. Then they start judging their real life based on what is happening.
With the real life.
Yeah, my erections are not happening. Because porn mein to instant erections hote hain because they're on pills and injections and all of that. So it impacts their sense of reality, and they don't know what to do, and it just...
And what's your take? Indian government sometimes ban, and sometimes they just pull it off in terms of the porn.
Even after banning, India was 3rd largest porn consuming country. So people are sex deprived. People, because when you take away something, it's psychological that they wanted more. So we are still watching porn. But I want sexual education to happen, this knowledge to be given to people, that what to take from it. You can just see it from a perspective of education, in the sense that how female bodies look, positions, and fun. Just to create some romantic mood for the couples, but not just as the medium of their education. Helping them understand what is right and wrong should happen in the education background of it.
As I'm just reflecting on to that, most of the jokes that we that we throw when we are sitting together, they are sexual jokes. Most of these jokes are around marriages. In jokes, I've heard many people talking about, and especially it happens with men. I'm sure you would have heard of that. कि भैया my wife is मुझसे नाराज हुई है and today I'm not going to get sex, right? And so I'm just wondering, is it like, how do women use sex as a weapon, right, to punish the man, or does it happen the other way around as well?
Yes. Other way around, it's very less because, biologically men have higher drive for sex. And also, generally, I'm not like saying generalizing it 100%, but yes, it happens. But yes, weaponizing sex is not healthy. You have anger towards your partner, or maybe you are hurt, or there's some conflict happening, some unresolved conflict is there, unresolved issue, and you're using sex as an weapon to communicate that I'm not happy, I'm angry. So there are a lot of causes for it. Maybe the partner is not able to see that partner is angry. Communication is not happening. The other partner should not use sex as a weapon, rather as a, what do we call it? Reinforcement. Like, if I'm happy, if you did something good, I should use sex as a way to, as a reinforcement, but not as a punishment. Weaponizing sex is
So it
unhealthy.
could be a reward, not a punishment.
Yeah, using sex as a reward is a good thing, which will also, increase the chances of your partner doing that thing
It's like
more often.
It's like placebo effect.
Yeah.
Right? If you do this, you will get. In case you don't do this, you're
But
not
with
going
punishment,
to get.
it's like it's an unhealthy way of seeing sex, and as in a relationship, as a punishment. Rather, communicate what you're upset about, and if you don't feel like in the mood, just say, okay, I'm not in a mood because so and so thing happened.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this.
And you also mentioned on one of our conversations where people are taking divorce because of dissatisfaction at the level of sexual pleasures.
Yeah, one of the reasons.
Have you come across any of these cases where a woman filed a case or vice versa because the lack of sexual pleasure in that relationship?
Yes, many a time. So some cases were genuine, that actually they were not on emotional same bandwidth. So physically also sex was not there. But if I talk about one of the cases wherein the female filed a case, so my client was male, the female filed a case stating sexual issue, penis size, and I think it was a timing that erections are not happening and early ejaculation is happening. So this was the reason, and this is a valid reason to have a divorce. This was such a case that they impacted the mental health of my client so much. He was fighting the case that that's not the thing. He cannot prove it actually.
Yeah.
And he had to give so much of money in alimony. And at that time he had sought help from various doctors, but not with me by then. So he came to me after the divorce had happened, and he was struggling with clinical depression. He was, scared to start a second chapter of his life. He wanted to marry again, but he was so scared that मेरे पास अब इतना ही पैसा बचा है, मैं दोबारा ये साइकिल में नहीं फंसना
शादी
चाहता.
बहुत महंगी पड़ गई.
बहुत महंगी पड़ गई, दूसरी वाली भी ना पड़ जाए. Plus, I'm not sure if I have this issue or not.
Yeah.
So that is true that I could not perform. So he was gaslighted in that first. Now that I know, I've seen the case. The partner was not supportive. The partner was, so if a male is not able to perform, if he's not having a good erection once or twice, that's normal. A supportive partner should help him, seek help or be there. That just builds their confidence. But if someone is just, pointing them out, taking away their confidence, and they are mentally shattered, erection will not happen. Now you are seeing sex as a performance, like an exam. An exam is stressful. And anywhere where is stress, your sexual health will not be at its peak. You will not have adequate erections. एक simple सा logic है. जब एकदम relaxation रहता है body में, mind से and bodily, you'll have adequate erections because blood flow in the penis would be very great. But if you're stressful, that means something is going on in your mind. And when there is a thought in your mind, the blood flow is here. That means it's not down there. And your mind is activated as a problem-solving element. It is solving a problem.
Yeah.
That means erections are not activated because our brain wants to first solve the stress. That is what it is made for. So priority.
Yeah.
पहले वो fear को deal करेगा, आपके जो thoughts हैं उसको deal करेगा. Sexual health बाद में आता है. वो पहले आपको safe रखना चाहेगा. So that is how it is. Our body is naturally built for safety and then sexual health. So if there's stress, you will not get erection. So whole episode was stressful for him. He could never perform in that marriage. The wife took a lot of advantage of it. She bought so many high-end luxury purses and bags and a lot of stuff, money, jewelry, then filed a case, took advantage of that. And that man was devastated. He came to me, then we figured out, had an assessment, and then we got to know that it's psychological. His ED issues were psychological. And then he has started his second life now. He got married and everything is fine with him.
You also spoke about cheating part of it. And Kajol and Twinkle, they have a podcast together where they are talking about this concept of cheating. Matlab, what do you consider as cheating?
Okay. So cheating simply means wherein you are stepping out of the verbal or non-verbal contract of the relationship. Now, two people have a understanding, a contract that this is okay for me and this is not okay for me. And these all talks should happen before the relationship starts. Sometimes not everything is talked about, but somewhere if we are stepping out of something, our gut tells us, okay, we are doing something wrong, this might hurt my partner.
Yeah.
That is also cheating. When your gut knows that this may hurt my partner.
Wow.
So anything that is happening outside of the verbal or non-verbal contract of the relationship is cheating. Now, cheating can be emotional, wherein you are not stepping out of the relationship for physical needs. Emotionally, you are stepping out. Now, talking about the causes, it can happen because somewhere your partner is not able to fulfill that emotional needs, or you both lack that connection altogether. This is not a justification for cheating, but we should understand the causes of it.
Yeah.
That why is it happening? This makes them align. Maybe in the office, in the corporate, we are so close to so many people, you talk to so many people, and we are psychologically inclined to see and focus on things which we lack. So if I'm not getting warmth in my relationship,
Then I will look for warmth outside that.
unconsciously.
Okay.
And if I find someone, my heart and my mind will naturally connect to it. Sometimes unconsciously we get connected to someone emotionally. That means we start oversharing about my life, something which I'm not sharing with my partner. So that is emotional cheating. Now, who is right, who is wrong here? It needs a deeper understanding. Why the needs are not being fulfilled here? How to cater to it? Stepping out is never an answer. It's if you're hurting the other partner, but resolving it, working on it is an option. Second is physical cheating, where you are stepping out from the contract for physical needs, sex, kiss, or anything else. Then digital cheating. People are focusing on having relationships outside, just digitally. It doesn't involve sex or, touching any physical aspect, but digitally you're talking to
the
someone.
whole AI world, the digital world has transformed everything.
Yes, so many interactive, interactive apps are there, interactive porn is there, wherein you're not physically doing anything. It's just a female or a male is coming and dancing on the video, and you are just self-pleasuring at the same time, or just chatting, sex chat, but someone else. So digital cheating is also on a rise.
And so, you spoke about emotional cheating, you spoke about physical cheating, of course, and the digital cheating as well. So, have you come across a case where the person has been cheated? Because the one who has been cheated undergoes betrayal trauma.
Yes.
It's a huge subject in the space of psychology these days.
Yes.
Right? How would you deal with that person who is undergoing betrayal trauma? That's one.
Yes.
Second is, what are the early signs if the other person is cheating on you and it's not your own self-created imagination?
Okay. So some of the early signs, I'll answer the second question first. The early signs of cheating could be where you're noticing disconnection. Emotionally or physically, the sex has reduced. We should have mentally be aware of our relationship. If something is going off, we should have a regular checkup. Like we have our health checkup, just sitting together once a while. You can have fixed dates about it. Once in a month, once in 2 months, just checking upon, are we both on the same page? Something is bothering me. This is a very good thing to do. Second sign could be emotionally drifting apart, not sharing, now just something that used to happen that is not happening. So emotionally drifting apart. Then hiding is happening. So hiding of phone, hiding of timings, whereabouts. So if some changes are happening, there are could be early signs of cheating. Now talking about someone who is going through cheating, who have been cheated upon.
Yeah.
It just shakes their world. It's so sad. I literally have cried in sessions sitting with the person who have been cheated because and they love the other person. They don't want to move out of the relationship, but they are not able to come back in the relationship because their trust is broken. And trust, once broken, leaves that person aimless. They cannot connect back. They have a very, like, sorry. They have a very, sorry.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Have you dealt with it yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm actually undergoing. I have a case right now, and that's why the emotions are coming up. It's a high-profile case, and the person is devastated. Anyone who have undergone cheated, who's been cheated upon, their trust is broken. Their trust is shattered. Now the difficult part is their mind is in a vicious cycle to find the whys. Why did it happen?
Yeah.
Am I not beautiful? Am I not handsome? Am I not providing anything? What is lacking here? And they cannot find any answer. If something was lacking, I'm putting all the efforts to, stay handsome, stay beautiful. They're stuck in the whys, and they'll never find the answer to whys.
Yeah.
So helping them first grieve it out that this happened, because they cannot share it with anyone.
Yeah.
Again, they need a space to talk about it, talk about the hurt, and accept it as a human that you're hurt right now. So just sharing, feeling it. Once they are in a space where they can talk about it a little bit, healed and accepted that this happened, then first talking about what do you want from your life? What do you wish for yourself? Which I mean, do they wish to stay in the relationship, or they wish to move out of the relationship? It's also a choice that you have to make. How do you see your future? It's not a one-session journey. It's not something that they decide on the point. And I am no one to tell them you should leave, you should stay. It's their life.
Wish.
Their wish
Their
and their
choice.
life. And we take time to understand what they desire in their life, what they wish in their life.
Aashita, help me understand. There was this person that I was coaching, and this lady was from East India that I was working with. And the lady got married, but she could not get out of the betrayal that she has encountered in her past relationship. And the story that she had to mention was that I was so much in love with this guy, and the guy cheated on me. So when I asked, how do you know that? She did not have an answer. She said, I have a hunch. So how would you create a distinction that whatever she's sharing, whatever your client is sharing, it's not the projection of her mind, but something जो उसके साथ घटित हुआ है.
Okay.
Because अगर मेरे दिमाग के अंदर कुछ चल रहा है, I can create anything.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? और अगर ही मैंने अपने दिमाग से create कर दिया, तो कहते हैं ना, शक का तो कोई solution है ही नहीं है.
कोई लिमिट भी नहीं है.
कोई लिमिट भी नहीं है. तो आप किसी के पीछे कुछ भी शक कर सकते हो. So how do you deal with these kind of cases?
So there is no way to go back in the past, right?
Yeah.
She had a feeling, or she had an idea that cheating had happened and that relationship has ended. But how to make sure that that part of her life is not getting impacted in the present life?
Yeah.
If she's having the same doubts with the present partner, the ideal way is to communicate. Just sit with your partner that I'm facing some difficulties in feeling closeness. I feel that some things is off. Talk to your partner that you're feeling that is anyone of us is moving out of the relationship, is something off happening. Give them the safe space to talk. So communication is the key, rather than doubting and checking the phones and everything they say. You'll have a second doubt. क्या ये सच बोल रहा है, क्या ये झूठ बोल रहा है? To not be in that space, because that's an unhealthy space to be in. Like, no one wants a relationship where you're just constantly, being a helicopter to your partner.
Yeah. So which one is more traumatic? Is it the emotional cheating or the physical cheating, or both? Of course, both.
There is no one answer.
Yeah.
So cheating is cheating. It will just devastate the world of the person who's been cheated upon. It just breaks the other person. The trust is broken, and once the trust is broken in the relationship, be it emotional, be it cheating, it's very difficult to build that up. So any kind of cheating is cheating. There is no justification. It's all about the harm that has happened and how to undo it or repair it.
The other day I was talking to somebody in the US, one of my teachers and one of my mentors, and we were talking about a common friend. Not a common friend, but common acquaintance, where the person mentioned that this person is seeing 3 partners at the same time, and all four are aware of who is seeing whom. And there's a comfort there. There is consensus there. What do you think? Where is the world moving towards? What's changing?
Openness. People are not limiting themselves to one partner in this life, and if this works for them, this works for them. So now if you want to ask me what is happening, let's go back to ancient time again. Marriages did not exist then. This is a societal construct. This is marriage is societal construct for our ease of life. But marriages did not existed. It is not a part of animal kingdom. So we biologically are not built to be with one partner. So technically we are going back to how we were.
And you said that marriage as an institution we created for the ease of ourselves.
Yes.
And we are going back to the animal kingdom that we belong to.
Yeah. So mindset is, people are open now to talk. If they feel that this life, just one marriage is not for them, it's good to not ruin someone else's life and rather be in a consensual relationship with the other partners. Know you are having different partners.
Yeah.
If it's happening with consent, I don't see anything wrong happening. But the whole process of opening up a relationship or a marriage requires a therapist, because at times you may think that this is for you and it's not for you. You open it and then there's involvement of third person, and when you see your partner with someone else, it just opens up jealousy and a lot of other factors, and going back to the previous setup of your relationship becomes difficult. Now, who is it for, who is it not for is a different debate altogether.
And it's so easy to come to a judgment and a conclusion of this is wrong, this is unfair, blah, 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 blah. Because while I was just listening to you, that we belong to animal kingdom and it's okay to go back to that. And it's the ease of our life that we're looking for. A part of me just jumped out of the seat and
If
said,
you
no.
want that for you.
Yeah, that's what
You
I'm
are
saying.
the
So
driver
part
of
of me
your life.
jumped out of that and said, no, this is wrong, this is... And then a question is, who has asked you to do moral policing here? Who has asked you to do ethical policing here? So in your understanding, having seen so many clients, how does an ideal, genuine relationship look like today?
Okay. Before answering this question, going back to the previous question, so my thinking, so initially also, I also have learned my way. Initially, I also used to think, array, open relationship hai, this is not a nice way to live in the society. But when I saw the impacts of it, when one of the partner wanted to be, in a relationship where they can explore with more partners, I could see how that person could, when he was not able to do that, because he was bounded by a relationship, he was living his life in misery. He was not happy, his partner was not happy, and they were just living their life, not with the happiness. दो lives खराब हो रही हैं इसमें. So what's the harm if they know what they want? Rather do it consensually, telling their partner and taking the consent from their partner also, if you want to be in that relationship, and then do it. So बहुत सारे concepts होते हैं इसमें. But doing it consensually, यानी कि दोनों की मर्जी से अगर ये हो रहा है और relationship में और happiness आ रही है, तो nothing is wrong here. Like this is one of the example I want to share. That's how it brought more awareness in my life also, because we also come to some conclusion कि कैसे इसमें हम रहेंगे. So that's how I learned.
How does an ideal and a genuine relationship look like today?
Today, in today's world, I feel both the partners should respect each other. See, it's not the love, it's not the sex, it's the respect. Because if respect is not there, because conflicts will not be, you will not be able to resolve the conflicts with the respect it requires. One person will always be above, and marriages involve conflict, so respect should always be on the table, irrespective spark is going, spark is present. But if respect is there, everything is resolvable. Then other pillars are having trust, having the love, keep working on it. Like, it's not like you marry and from day one your marriage is top notch, your relationship is not top notch. No, you both will be growing and evolving together with each passing day, every passing year. Just keep on learning about each other, just keep on doing the things that brought you together. So it's a constant evolving of the two people, but together.
What kind of issues do women come across when it comes to sexual health?
There are two broader areas. One is vaginismus, that is painful sex due to psychological reasons.
Even that's because of the psychological reasons.
So vaginismus is a condition wherein a female blocks the entry of anything inside the vagina. Now, it is the root causes fear. Okay. Now that if you go to a gynaec or the testing happens, the entry of any tampon, any penis, any finger or any medical object is restricted, because the fear, the muscles get restricted. Now they are not doing it consciously, it happens unconsciously. So this is something they don't even know that's happening. That whenever something is entering inside, they are just shutting it. Now this causes unsatisfactory sexual relationship with the partner. The other partner is trying. This also impacts the male sexual health. Like he thinks something is wrong with them. They also then eventually develop ED. That's also a cycle. Then they're not able to consummate their relationship. I have had clients wherein they are married for 20 plus years and they have not had sex even once in their life. So this issue is so huge. Why this is huge? Because there's lack of awareness. They don't even know that this is a condition. That this is something which is a issue, that the vaginal muscles are getting contracted, and that is why it's not happening. अब जब किसी को पता ही नहीं ये issue है तो इलाज थोड़ा ढूंढेंगे इसका. So vaginismus is something which is a very common issue and related to fear. So it has a psychological intervention part of it. The gynec cannot help you much in this. Then second is orgasm gap, because male and female anatomies are built different. Communication, sexual education नहीं है तो communication नहीं है. Females don't know how to please their body. They have never seen their body down there. So it's also because how they are built. A male's sexual organ is protruding outside. So they have a good relationship with their penis because they touch it since their childhood, they use it, they pee holding it. But for a female, it's enclosed. They don't get to see it on their daily life unless they consciously bring a mirror and see it. And this is rare. No one has seen it. Plus the ads and society, the darkening creams, odor ads, all of that creates a negative image of how they see themselves. Hence, they don't explore their bodies. They don't know what feels pleasurable to them. So when they don't know about their body, how will their partners know about their body? Because female orgasm and female anatomy is more complicated than a male's, how they feel orgasm. So these two issues are some core issues that female clients come.
If you were to guide our audience with 3 steps that would help them to improve their sexual life, to further build a better relationship with their own body, what would be those 3 steps?
With their body and their partner. First is explore yourself. Get to know your body. It's nothing taboo. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo your self-pleasure. But on an adequate medium level, it's fine. Explore your body not just for the aim of achieving an ejaculation or orgasm. Just explore what are your sensitive areas. Second is talk. Talk to your partner. Like if something is impacting you, or you want to just talk about just take feedbacks and tell what would you want. So communicating, requesting and giving feedbacks. Third is if something is wrong, go to a psychologist, go to a sex therapist if sexual health is impacted. So these 3, I think.
So the first one is explore their own body. They should be aware of what their pleasure measures are. How can they actually self-pleasure themselves? How can they pleasure themselves? And second one is communication with your partner. I think communication has played a very important role.
Absolutely.
In any kind of intimacy.
Egos come in between, so they don't communicate or they don't know how to communicate. Defensiveness comes into play. So keep egos and defensiveness aside and just communicate. Take feedbacks.
And the third one is go and visit Kama Health India. Where can they find you?
On my website.
If you can just share your website URL and
it's www.kamahealthindia.com.
Thank you so much. Such a pleasure having you here. I learned a lot.
Thank you for calling me, Gaurav. Lovely chatting with you.
Thank you.